Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast of Tuning In. We have our co-host Julian, myself, and our special guest, Moody E46.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. Julian, do you have questions?
Of course.
Yeah.
I have lots of questions.
Let's go, I'm ready.
So we'll start it off hot. What's your dream car?
So my dream car is actually a really old BMW. It's the 1986 850 Ci.
850 Ci, the one with it's kind
The
of like
pop-up lights.
Yeah.
It has a
looks like
McLaren
Corvette.
engine in it, basically. It's like a
Wow.
V12.
That's pretty cool.
That's like some crazy shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I also have another. Okay, so like if you could like build a car versus say like have like a stock car, like would they differ? You know what I mean? Like if you could.
You mean
you know
like
what I mean? If you
a-
had to keep the car stock, would that still be your dream car? Or if you could like build a car?
No, I don't care. As long as it's that 850 Ci, I don't give a shit.
stock, bone
Right.
stock.
Stock, not stock. I'd rather
Okay.
keep it stock because it's a classic.
Right.
I'm more into classic cars than like a new Lambo or something.
Right. Okay.
Stuff like that.
I might already know the answer to this, but if you had to like build a car, what car would that be?
The 850 Ci?
Like a full build? No, honestly, I would stick to an E46.
That's what I was guessing.
I just wanted to finish the build so bad before, because I got into an accident with mine before, and I just wanted to finish that build so bad. But if there's ever any build that I do want to do like to the fullest, is an E46, because they don't have a turbo, so.
So how far were you into your build?
It was all cosmetics. Like
All
I was
cosmetics? Okay.
basically done all the cosmetics. So I had the wide body kit. The wheels were getting ordered. I was gonna get the air suspension on it, and I did like the wrap and everything was done. But that was almost there. But
You did the wrap yourself?
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
it was like the snake
snake
pattern
wraps,
with the flower.
And that's what you do for a living? Wrap
That's what I do.
cars?
Yeah, I wrap cars.
Okay.
So.
And whereabouts is the shop located?
So right now, because of everything that's going
Okay.
on, I don't have like a designated shop. I had one opened up, but I realized like it's not the easiest, obviously, starting up. And I'm sure everyone in the car scene would know if you're a mechanic or a detailer or whatever it is wrapping that you're doing. It's not the easiest, especially with COVID and all that stuff going on. So I had a shop, but I'm like, I'd rather just stick with mobile work right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I did for quite a bit of time. So like I was going between shops to wrap cars until like I get everything settled and have people, working in a good space. Then that's when I'll jump back into actually like a shop.
It's not easy. It's not easy working in a shop.
No, it's definitely not. It's hard, like with rent and the supplies and, material and running it and just everything. It's not the easiest.
That brings me to a sort of offside question here. I've worked with people who do rapping for a living, and I've seen some pretty interesting and odd requests.
Yeah.
And some, can you do it for this much or that much? So what's the weirdest request that you've had somebody come to you with in terms of wrapping their vehicle or doing something cosmetic to their vehicle?
In terms of pricing or just looks?
A little bit of both.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I would say the not the weirdest, but the worst is when they choose like a really cheap material, like very bad,
Like
and they're
Vivid?
like just
Yeah.
Are we naming?
Name drop. My apologies, but yeah. In my experience, Vivid has been
for
difficult to work with.
I think any decent rapper will tell you that
For
Vivid
sure,
is
yeah.
not the best. But yeah, that's like the most odd request. It's like, oh, I'll pay you this much. I have the material myself. Can you just do it for me?
Oh, the
And I'm like, no, man. Like, do you want me? I could do it for you, but I mean, I wouldn't even do it because I don't want the wrap to look like shit, and then it's gonna come back to me. But at the same time, I'm putting all this effort in.
Well, you're an artist, right? And it's best when you let the artist do their job
the way they
without limitations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, what's the point of me putting it on? And then a week off, you're gonna come back and complain about it.
Yeah, we're 3 months.
Also,
Somebody's
like
mom.
they ask who did it, and then your name's attached
Exactly.
to a terrible rap job.
Exactly.
And you had
Exactly.
choice
Yeah.
what to do.
Oh, I've seen that before where like I know a good rap, like someone who's very good at doing raps, you know, like I've seen a car that's been wrapped by them and I'm like, oh my. And it's, you know, the material that's used and
100%. Even like some of the more used ones right now was Inozotech. I don't know if you're familiar
I
with
love
that.
Inozotech personally.
I hate it.
Yeah,
and I
really?
don't know how they do
It's
it.
hard to work with.
It's really thick.
Yes.
Really, really
it's
thick.
It's very hard to work with.
Especially like the chrome colors is just insane.
So hard to work with.
Yeah.
I have a
very,
question.
very difficult.
Yes.
If you've never wrapped a car before and you want your car wrapped, but you don't want to spend is it $3,000 to get a good job done?
25 to 35.
Yeah,
Around there,
reasonably,
no?
yeah.
Okay.
For an average.
Yep.
Should you even try wrapping it yourself, or is that just nah?
Not really. Like, I wouldn't see a point because then you're just wasting
How much
the
is like
material.
vinyl?
It's not cheap. It's gone up a lot.
It's not like for a consumer, just like someone to buy it
Yeah.
without a supplier and everything. You're looking at
okay.
$1,000
Right.
for the
At
material,
least.
for good material.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So
could go
then-
with Vivid and buy it for like 600, but still,
Don't,
like,
don't waste the $1,000
Exactly.
you pay the
and
price or
the
you pay it
time.
twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Always.
even if like you're spending 600 for material, which is the cheapest, or let's say even 500, you're still putting in a good amount of money. So why not put that little extra bit there and just know that that shit's gonna stay on your car
Yeah.
for like a year minimum
And not lift. Yeah.
and not
or
lift.
bubble.
No,
Oh, that's the worst.
or look like it's gonna look bad.
Yeah, no,
mainly.
for sure.
Oh, here's a fun question. What's the ugliest car that you've had to wrap?
Oh boy.
No name drops.
The ugliest car. I'm really not a fan. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I'm not a fan of Teslas whatsoever. I hate.
Neither
hate
does our good
Teslas.
friend Safe, the owner
Well, he
here.
has
He,
one.
he used to have one. He
I
used to
can't
have one.
stand them. I think they look horrible. Yeah.
I like
You
Elon
get a
Musk.
lot of them though, right?
I do.
Yeah.
They're
You do,
actually the
eh?
easiest, like one of the easiest cars to wrap because they're so like
Simple.
simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the trunk is a little bit hard because it curves, but
One piece or two piece?
it depends.
Yeah.
Because you have like the smaller Tesla models and then you have like the Model Y and the Model X, I think.
Yeah, the X is a bigger one.
They're bigger. So it depends, but yeah, I would say Teslas are pretty ugly.
Do you also hate like Polestar?
Post-
You hate EVs in general?
Yeah, and yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not just Tesla.
No.
It's,
Okay.
it's nothing against Elon
Just the
Musk.
future in general.
No.
Just, she
I just-
despises the future.
I
There's
don't
a
know.
trend here.
I think like Teslas they're just too much of a mix of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the way the cars are made, they have like parts of different manufacturers in them. They have like Mercedes parts, Dodge parts, just different.
I don't
I don't
know
know.
anything about
Kind of like a Maserati. You know, a little bit
Basically.
of everything thrown into one. Yeah.
Basically.
The interior of a Dodge Journey
But yeah,
and the
EV
engine of a
should be-
Ferrari.
EV should be I don't know. They say like gas cars should be
Abolished.
banned. I feel like EV cars should be banned instead.
Yeah. Well, the cost and the environmental impact of those batteries.
Yeah.
That's a big
They
thing.
say it's going to be like worse than the impact on
Yeah.
fuel, but I don't know.
But
It's out of my
if you've
scope.
driven one, like a dual motor, they're a lot of fun.
They are, but they're electric. So
You know what? I have to say, when I was driving your car downtown last night,
Yeah.
and I wanted to just floor it, but I know I couldn't because a cop would have heard me 10 blocks away. I wish maybe I had a
That's the
Tesla
only
because I
upside.
could go really fast and no one would know.
I remember this one time I was wrapping a Tesla and I was trying to turn it on, and I was like, "Where's the key?" Like I didn't know what the fuck was going. Am I supposed to swear here?
No,
I
it's
don't-
okay.
It's
You're
all
I don't know.
good. No worries.
I couldn't find the key. There was like no button, nothing. And so I asked someone, and they're like, "Oh, it's a card. You just got to scan a card on the side." I'm like, "What?
You swipe the card. Yeah.
What the hell is that?" Yeah.
It's the future.
Yeah.
I
it
saw a
is.
guy made like a little Tesla ring. So he put that little chip that's in the card, the RFID or whatever it is, in this ring that he just wears on his finger. He just taps his ring on the car and it unlocks, and he taps his ring on the thing and it starts.
So you're telling me you wouldn't take a Tesla Plaid?
No.
What?
I
But like
No
no car's
Tesla.
gonna be faster than it.
It doesn't.
No
It
car.
doesn't matter how fast it is.
It's about the experience.
It's about like you're driving literally a car. Like what
You're
is there?
connected to it. Yeah.
Right, right.
That
and
too.
I understand that. But there's something to be said about going so fast your socks could literally fly off.
But you could do that in like a McLaren or a Lambo or
no, but the plaid will still smoke a McLaren. It
We've
still
seen
will.
it, yeah.
What is it?
Hoonigan's proof.
Hoonigan tried
I mean,
it.
we're in
It's what,
Canada, so
1500
who's really
horsepower
going
car?
that fast over here?
Yeah, you can't really do anything.
Can't do shit.
Not this time of year. Nope. Can't get away with much.
If it means I can go up against Lyndon at a light and just tear the shit out of him, go into the next one, then like I feel like that's worth some money
Yeah.
towards a Tesla.
I don't know about
And all you
that.
got to do is throw a set of wheels on it, and
No,
you're good.
you're still driving a Tesla at the end of the day. I don't know.
It's for a different kind of owner.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like simplicity and
Mm-hmm. It's more. I wouldn't say refined, but more so like further engineered. It's like there's less involved in it.
It's just
in terms of
a comfortable
ownership.
way of driving.
Yeah.
Basically.
Creature
There's nothing wrong
comforts
with
for
them. I
sure.
mean, at the end of the day, they're nice cars. They're like innovative cars, but it's just not my piece of cake.
Not your piece of cake. So,
No.
so
Definitely
you said you like the 850, right? Is
Yeah.
850. So, what do you think about the new 8 Series?
Oh my God. That's
What's new with the 8 Series? I
The
don't
new 8
even-
Series.
it's new.
Like
They're so beautiful.
the grills and all that stuff.
They're
you like
so
them?
beautiful.
What, like the M4 sort of grill?
Yeah,
right?
like the M8. Have you seen what it looks
like
like?
the new version of the 8 Series.
I don't even think so.
Yeah, you're a
I
little
think I
bit-
must have.
You must have seen it
Yeah, I
at some
must
point.
have. Yeah, I do like the M8s though.
They're my
Yeah.
favorite right now. Like in
Yeah.
terms of the new models that came out.
They're beautiful.
They're so beautiful.
But I
They're
also
so
like the
aggressive.
new M4s with the big. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of the new
I
kidney
love
grills.
the new grill.
Yeah,
I love it.
them.
A lot of people have hate for it, but I don't
At
know.
first, before I saw one in person, I wasn't a fan. And then when I went to, I forget where it is in Toronto, they had one.
Yeah.
They had like two of them sitting outside,
Yeah.
outside of the BMW dealership. And I went up and looked at both of them, and they had that weird green color. Like
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
and I did not like it.
No.
No.
And I feel like that was like a marketing fail on their part because
100%.
if you saw like the two models, like the black and red, those two, like the new grills with those colors was just insane.
I agree
in
with
person,
you, yeah. But
especially
even the
black.
slate gray, like the dark gray that they have, oh.
Anything but that green color. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like an eggshell green. I don't know what they
Yeah.
were thinking.
I know a guy who specifically wanted it. I don't know if it's called Stingray green. I don't know
It
what
could
it
be
is.
that, yeah.
But I know he got the M3 in that color. It was the first green one in Canada.
I'm not a fan.
And he chose it. And I was like,
Out of all the colors.
out
you
of all the
chose-
colors, all the
you
really
chose
nice
this.
colors. Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's different. I guess it stands
Yeah.
out
But they
more.
drive really nice too.
Yeah. Somehow I managed to
man.
see a already like ricered new M3 at one of the meets.
See, I like
I'm
it
not
when
gonna
they do
say-
that.
Yeah,
I like
you
it.
like that, eh?
Dude, when they pimp out and make them like so ugly and disgusting,
Oh,
like
God.
a new like BMW, I think that's awesome. Like
Yeah.
a big dirty wing on
I
a
think
new
you're the
M4.
only
Like it looks
one.
like it could fly.
No, that one had like
that.
that one had like LED lights along the hood.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what
No.
was going on, and like those fake carbon fiber strips.
I've seen that one. I've
Oh.
seen that one.
You seen that one and like a bunch of stickers?
I think it's a girl that owns it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into like
Yeah, but
too much into detail.
Yeah, but
That's not
I
hurt her
saw
feelings.
it was a girl.
I saw it and I was wondering. Okay, but then
What was going on?
all right, it's an M4.
Wait,
I
it's
don't
a-
have
it's-
one, so
Yeah.
It's a new M4?
It was a
Yeah.
brand new one.
So how do you
Yeah.
have money for a brand new M4 but not real carbon?
It's all about taste.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, money can't buy shit
Yeah,
with taste.
But like to that person, that's what that person wants,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like, yeah,
And that's the thing, like, it's kind of funny when you look at it
Yeah.
that way, but it's also nice when you have like a variety of cars. Like it's a brand new M4
Mm-hmm.
with this different look. I mean, you'll never really see that if everyone does the same thing.
it
so.
definitely raises the eye. It catches
Yeah.
the eye. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's
for
nice when
sure.
you see different shit at car meets and like how versatile it is.
There's a lot, yeah. There's a lot of interesting builds
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of interesting cars. I was at one in Oakville fairly recently, just before the winter, and I was surprised because it was all older BMWs, like all like E30s,
Yeah.
E36s. And I rolled up and I was like, wow, this is surprising, like a lot
There's a lot.
more than what I was used to seeing out in our area.
A lot of people now like they're trying to buy the E30s and build them because
It's a beautiful chassis.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
it's a beautiful
absolutely.
generation.
What would you say is one of the coolest cars you've seen at like a car meet that really stuck out?
The coolest car?
Yeah. Or you?
Oh God.
Both.
What do you think?
There's so many.
There are so many.
We're
and
in
that's the
Toronto.
thing.
There's so many.
And that's the thing, because we like cars. We're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, every car is so good
Do you know
at
who-
doing that
I
thing.
think it's Elvin Long. Is that his name? With
Oh, the M4?
Have you seen that? The F82 M4? Elvin Long. It's wide body.
It's amazing.
It's like,
You saw it in
Oh,
person?
is it like a gray? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
yeah.
You saw it in person?
That's sick.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. Like his videos, his Instagram, I always see the pictures and I'm like, bro, like I need to see this car in person. Bring it by.
There's so many builds. I'm trying to think of
Anything that has a
Uh-huh.
BMW logo.
anything.
Yeah. Including the M4 with fake arrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We respect all builds, you know?
Yeah, including the 46s.
All right. I'm curious, what got you into cars to begin with?
That's a good
So,
question.
yeah, that started when I had my first car. So, my dad actually got me my first car. It was a 1997 328i. So, it was
Okay.
an E36. And after that, I just fell in love. I was always more of like a tomboy. I always liked cars, motorcycles, guns, shit like that. I have
cool
my
shit.
I have my gun
The cool
license.
shit.
The dope
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Fun things.
The fun shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's what really got me, like, I would say mostly into Beamers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I drove the E36. I'm like, I want that.
Mm.
How long did you have
Yeah.
that car for?
I would say about 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, yeah. And then I got the E46.
The E46
After
is
that.
nice. That was the one with the snake wrap and
No, so I've actually had 3 E46s.
3 E46s.
Three.
So that's where the nickname comes from.
Basically.
I'm catching on that.
The first one was a sedan. It was the one that was like blue, like toothpaste blue,
Okay.
with the carbon fiber hood and the trunk. So that was my first build. And then the second one was the one with the snake. It was a coupe, 330 CI.
Is that the black?
That's a nice car.
The
The
black
30.
one?
That's like the one step below the M3, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. And my most recent one was the M-Tech, which is kind of like a ZHP E46.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like one up
Even
higher.
one up, yeah. It's like M package.
Basically, it's
Yeah.
like the M package of the E46s
Yeah.
back in
That's
the day.
pretty cool.
So yeah,
Stick?
yeah, manual for sure.
Nice.
My last 2 were manual.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, if you're driving an E46, I think it should be manual because it's
How much horsepower do they have stock?
about two.
Like 260, 270 probably? Maybe 240?
Realistically, like
Maybe
245.
Does it hold up?
240. Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah?
The torque on it is actually really.
The experience is actually pretty nice. Like
It's the best.
balanced.
It's the
Yeah.
best. It's
You feel
so
in control.
driver
Right,
oriented.
if it's manual, right? I feel like
Yeah.
the 260 horsepower would like, or 245 would
Yeah.
go a lot farther in like being enjoyable. Like,
It's just like, that's literally my favorite BMW model because of just the sheer like driving pleasure that you get from driving that car and like feeling connected to what you're driving.
It's
so
so
I
simple.
actually don't know anything about these cars, to be
Yeah.
honest. So like what years are these cars like?
So they range from 1999, I think, to 2005, I believe, is the last E46. I might be
Okay.
mistaken. I might be like 1 year off. But yeah.
So is like
2005.
the
2005.
you get lots of road feel, lots of like throttle feedback, things like that.
Definitely.
Is that why it's so?
No, so E90 was the last generation. They had the power steering.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
E46 is just the way the car is, I don't know. Like the whole design of the car is just strictly about the driver. And they're basically track cars
Yeah.
and drift cars. Whenever you see someone drifting or like a drift show or a
it's
drift
always
competition,
like a E46
it's
or
always an
E36.
Yeah, just like a really like capable, controllable car.
and they're very
Yeah.
heavy. Like they're very sturdy. They stick to the
They're
ground.
planted,
So
yeah, and affordable for the most part.
Now they're getting really expensive.
Yeah, they're going up in
I don't know
value.
how it's
The
crazy.
M3s are
They're going up.
yeah.
They are going up. If
That's
you
actually
have,
something I want to get into is a bit about the used car market and BMWs.
if you have any of those, like E90, E36, E46 right now, it's an investment technically.
100%, yeah. Definitely an investment. Before I was looking at Hamza's, I was looking at a E92
Yeah.
M3. No, sorry, E93 M3. So it was a drop top.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was a 2011. I was so close to getting it, the guy wanted like 19,000 for it. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's do it. And then he decided he wanted to keep it. So
And
then
now
it
it's
was
probably
back on
like
the market.
30K.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the best decision that guy ever made.
Yeah. Just to
Yeah.
keep the car.
Those cars sound beautiful.
They do. They're my
naturally
favorite, like,
aspirated V8.
to build other than the E46,
Yeah.
like a 335 single turbo build.
Yeah, my friend Mo has a supercharged E90,
Nice.
and those things are nuts.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
I have a question, a thinking thought,
What's that?
maybe. Something I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on. So, for example, I was looking at this AMG GTR. It was 2016, and the guy was asking like 126K.
Yeah.
He had just put in, I think like that summer before he was trying to sell it, like a summer ago, $105,000 US into parts and like tuning and like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this thing is like pimped out.
Yeah.
So he's basically valuing the car at less than 26 grand.
What do you mean?
This 2016 AMG GTR, because he like already put in 105K parts, right? But it's aftermarket.
Right.
Oh,
And they have zero value
no,
for resale.
Yeah, mods.
So-
no value.
Yeah, mods don't really affect.
Right.
price.
So is it just people's love of like a certain car that they're willing to like basically throw their money into a pit that has no like
Well, it
because
also-
to keep their classic cars, you know, the low horsepower, to keep it stock, that's an investment, right?
Right.
Keep your classic car clean, you can sell it later.
Right.
But people who like, you know, modify them to make it how they want lose all value in the car.
Not always. I feel there's always someone out there that would respect that and or appreciate that would look at that and be
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. I don't have to do the work.
Right.
This is what I want. But that is also hard to find.
But still,
Right.
like the
it's
reason,
making
like,
it a niche.
the price is still lower than a like
So
it's
I would
usually
do
the
that.
same as like a stock.
If it had service records, I would view that as a steal.
I personally wouldn't buy a build.
Right.
No, eh?
I'm kind of against that, but it depends what kind of build it is, what kind of mods it is. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if it's like engine, then hey, why not?
Yeah.
But I feel like more for looks. If you buy someone's build,
yeah.
you're buying what they envision that car to look like.
I see. I agree with that. I
No.
see like
I
other
agree
people's
to an
like
extent.
really unique builds, and
Yeah.
I'm
to an
like,
extent.
Yeah.
if I
Wonder
bought
why.
that, if I bought that,
Yeah.
that would be their car that I'm driving.
Exactly.
It wouldn't feel like mine.
That's why you got to make it yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the best BMW out now? New version.
Right now, definitely the M8.
The M8, yeah, for sure.
It's the best looking,
It's the most expensive, right?
most expensive.
Yeah, right.
Fastest.
Fastest, power wise.
Biggest, coolest.
Yeah.
What do you think's the worst BMW ever?
That's a great question.
The 2 Series or the M2s.
Huh?
Anything of 2 Series M2s. This is very unpopular.
Your favorite car is the 228xi?
That's your favorite car?
No, that's yours. The N20, the best BMW engine ever made.
Listen,
Listen.
listen. They made the 1 Series, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where they should have kept it.
You think so, eh?
I don't know why they would ever think to go to the 2 Series.
Well, they have a front-wheel drive variant in Europe.
Who gives a shit?
Of the
They
2
look
Series.
like shit. Their engines
So
are...
you're not a fan of the M2 comps?
No.
Wow.
Not at all.
That's crazy. That's the first time I've ever heard
Definitely
that.
not.
Probably the last time I'll ever
I'm-
heard
There's. I
Yeah,
don't
the
think
last
anyone
time
else
I've
hates the 2 Series as much as
And
I do.
why?
Yeah.
You think it's like
I
just
think it's a model that they made just to kind of cover a certain what's that word? Like population or like
demographic?
Demographic. Thank you. It's just a model that they
What,
wanted.
people who like good cars?
Have you driven one?
No. But that doesn't matter.
Okay, but here's the thing. Why
I've
get a
driven.
coupe?
I've driven a 1 Series.
Yeah, the 1
Those
Series
things
nice.
are small and fast. You
Yeah.
want
Right,
to.
but Lyndon, would you not agree the M2 is probably, I haven't driven one, but
M2
from what I
competition
hear,
is in my opinion, one of the best balanced vehicles.
the best
ever
driving
made.
coupes?
Yes.
Probably best
but you
driving
could say-
vehicles ever, maybe?
In my opinion, yes. And I've driven an E46 M3.
No, but you could say like an Audi TT or a TT RS.
No,
It's-
but
it's
people
compared
don't say
to-
that. Who says that? I've never
It's
heard
the
that.
same thing. It's the
But
same
it's-
thing. Or
but
you're looking at like
TTRS is Quattro,
yeah,
all-wheel drive. M2CS is
Rear
rear-wheel
wheel.
drive.
yeah, but it's an M2.
Different car.
But-
Same shape, same size.
I don't
Our
know,
feelings
man.
are hurt.
The things I've heard are just
A
completely
lot of people
opposite.
are
Yeah.
like, what?
No, I'm down for the debate. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I just feel like they're an unnecessary model that they wanted to put out again to fill out a demographic and
So
I
create.
think it was a necessary.
I don't think it was necessary at
the
all.
Mercedes C-Class, the coupes, those
That's
are all
like-
useless.
That's like a CLA, and I think CLA should be gone.
I like the CLA 45.
No.
But like, what about Miatas?
Oh, come on. Are you really comparing a Miata to?
Yeah, it's a coupe. But like,
It's a two-door coupe.
huh?
It's a two-door coupe, yeah.
Okay, but see, a Miata is like a staple within like
There's
a
heritage.
So is
There's
M2.
heritage.
So is M2 though in
No,
modern
but the
cars.
two-
M2 came
I
out
would
of
say.
nowhere, I agree.
Maybe like 100 years from now, I'll look at a 2 Series. Maybe I might appreciate it,
Right.
but right now, definitely not. Like there
You
wasn't.
gotta drive one first.
But I feel like it's like driving a 1 Series or a 3. I've driven every other series, so is it really
It's like
that?
driving
different?
a 135 single turbo. It's like driving, exactly like driving that.
Okay, so why couldn't they just keep it?
Well, I mean,
See?
sure. Yeah, but
And now
the
they look like.
evolution.
Did you see the new models?
The evolution.
Did you see what
The
they
new
look
2
like?
Series?
Yeah,
The new M240i, I'm a big fan of.
that's crazy.
Now,
That's crazy.
but hear me out. Stock, they don't look the best. Like when I look at that car,
Oh,
I
come on,
envision
the
even
new
with
grill,
mods,
right?
I
they look
envision
like
when
ass.
slammed, a little bit of camber, you know.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't
Not
know
at all.
enough about these to. I'm just playing devil's advocate because I like the debate.
They're nice cars, but I see where she's coming from.
I just feel like they're unnecessary and that they could have evolved the 1 Series to be,
They
you
could
know,
have created more behind.
But
Exactly.
isn't the 1
history.
Series supposed to be like the entry level?
No, 1
BMW?
Series. So the 1 Series.
technically the 2 Series is entry level.
Yeah, I mean. they
And
have
I also feel
entry-level
like they
versions.
made that so that it's like an affordable BMW to buy. To
The
be
2
honest,
Series, yeah. Well, like
But-
the lower tiers, like the 228, the 230,
Yeah.
the 235.
No, but even
Oh, so
like
you're
a,
talking
was
all
nice.
2 Series, not just M class,
Well,
M2.
there's,
but even
there's-
like a M240 or M2,
that's a nice car.
they go for like 40K or 30,
Anything
40K.
with a B58
Yeah,
is a monster.
just not on a 2 Series.
340,
Yeah,
beautiful cars.
yeah, they are.
They are very beautiful and fast.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Is it because
the
you can't
440s.
fit like a full sheet of vinyl in the back of a coupe?
Could be why. Could be
Yeah.
It's a
why.
bunch of reasons.
There's a bunch of reasons.
The fold down seats of
The
the
hate is
M3.
real. Yeah.
It is.
So
I hate them.
So question for you then. This
Yeah.
true decision maker. 350Z or sorry 370Z or a 2 Series.
370Z.
Whoa.
Anything. I see where you're coming from. Like, it's.
A VQ, really?
Ooh, that's.
A VQ.
Be a VQ family.
Those motors are terrible.
See the Instagram?
Okay, are we
motors
talking
are
about
terrible.
motors and looks or just looks?
Overall
Overall?
package.
Obviously, I would say the M2 if we're taking
you.
in.
Nah.
Thank you.
If we're taking in overall, but looks, definitely anything over that.
Okay, fair enough. It's not always about the looks, and this
It's
is what I
not.
tell people about the new M3 and M4s.
It's not.
They're not supposed to necessarily be a beautiful
No.
looking vehicle, but it's supposed to. Its presence is supposed to be like it's supposed to catch your eye.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's more aesthetically like a bulldog. Like bulldogs are
Right.
cute, but they're aggressive looking
Right.
animals, right?
It's a good analogy.
No, I
It's an
get you.
aggressive looking car where it's not necessarily supposed to be pretty.
But there's a
right?
lot
Like
of ugly.
Audis and-
Have you seen like the GTs? They're like
What's GT?
like a 5 Series GT.
Oh, yes.
It's like the hatchback / sedan
we
type
have
of
a
look.
335 GT outside right
People
now.
think they're really ugly, but I like them.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the best looking BMW from the back.
That over a 2 Series?
Yeah. Anything. Anything.
Good old head shake. But see,
So-
that's where debate and conversation is good. Like we all have our opinions, right?
course.
Like I love an M4 with fake arrow, and you know, I love to put a.
At the end of the day, everyone can appreciate a BMW, but there's just that model pisses me off. That's all.
I hear you. I hear you. For me, it's probably I would say the 6 Series, like the.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Wow.
Worst?
Wow.
Not a fan.
Okay.
Not a fan.
It seems to be honest. I think that is the irrelevant class because like there's a 7 Series. What's the difference between an M5 and the 7?
Oh, come
My
on.
apologies. I
You meant
stand
7?
corrected. The 7 Series is the worst BMW ever made.
Okay, the 7 Series did go through a lot of shitty design eras, like those backlights is like that one strip.
If you've ever had to work on one or see somebody work on one.
Let's not talk about maintenance and mechanic
maintenance,
shit. Going on with
well,
those.
I know a customer that bought an aftermarket warranty with his car, and the warranty company spent like $27,000 or $28,000 in like 3 years on that customer's car.
Basically, if someone's not driving you in the 7 Series, don't get one.
I agree.
If you're not getting driven in that car,
you don't deserve one.
just don't get it. There's no point. You go through more shit then.
I feel like they're better off leased than they are
Yeah.
owned. Yeah, and they shouldn't be owned after 5 years, anyways, unless like it's like a classic 7 Series.
They're just like, the classics.
Classics are
That's
always nice,
different.
yeah.
For both of you, a question. What's like a good tip? Maybe your unique tip for buying a used car? Maybe something someone hasn't heard before. Something that only you maybe
Do you have any
figured
advice?
A unique tip.
Or maybe your number one key to finding like a good deal.
Low mileage.
Really?
Right.
Low mileage.
The classic rollback.
You gotta watch out.
Uno
but
reverse card. I got you.
not just that, like I feel like something that you don't always look out for is who was owning that car. Especially if it's a car that you really want to care for. It's different if it's like a winter beater, you're just looking for any car, whatever, who gives a shit. But if it's like something that it's going to be kind of closer to your heart, or you're going to build or turn into something.
History's important.
History is really important because the way they took care of it says a lot about how it's going to treat you at the same time. And it's like, to me, the relationship that someone had with their car before they sell it is actually really important for me.
What if it was someone who really loved their car, was probably driving their car aggressively, but took care of it? Oil changes, new parts.
And see, that's where
really good maintenance.
That's where I
That's
feel like
always
a
a hit or
modified
miss.
car, it is always hit or miss, but I feel more confident purchasing either a modified car than I would a car from like just say an older individual that dealer service their car only because they follow the dealer 14 or 12K oil change intervals.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. It depends. Like, you're not going to run into problems with the stock car as much as you might run into the modified car at the same time.
It's a part of the journey.
So your tip is
Depends.
like knowing the person who's selling the car will tell you more about the car.
Yeah.
And that's what you go off of. Huh?
Paperwork as well.
Paperwork.
Receipts.
And what would you say is your tip?
Obviously the best deal. You got to get a good deal. And pre-purchase inspection.
Pre-purchase.
Is like
Get your car
key.
inspected.
Get the car inspected before you spend. If you're spending
Oh my God.
over $5,000 on a car, have somebody who knows what they're doing inspect it.
Before I got the E46, this last one. So after my accident, I was looking for something else, and I was gonna get one of my favorite models is the 07 650. They're like you're gonna laugh at me, of course. They're like the ones with those taillights that are
I know.
I don't know. Yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. And
You didn't get it?
They those cars have a lot of problems.
I know they do.
A lot of problems. The 6 Series are crazy. So I was pretty settled on it. And I wanted to take it for a test drive. At the same time, I was going to take it to the BMW dealer because it was like a private dealership.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to make sure this car is
Did
good.
they let you take it to the dealer?
They did, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I took it to BMW. And, obviously, like, dealerships try to tell you there's more shit wrong with the car than there typically is, just to make a little bit more money. But that service came back with 11 pages. It was 11 pages of, like, really...
11 red flags.
No, it was way more than 11. No, like each page had like a list of things that were wrong.
Oh my.
So I went back. I'm like, here you go, man.
Nice car, but no thank you.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like when I got mine, I got all the service records, which was nice. And his sister-in-law owned the car. So like all
So
the
you
records
knew,
from
yeah.
you. And like I just knew, I'm like, okay, cool, this car's been taken care of. And here I am, almost 300,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your car is great because, and that's the thing. That's what, like, if you were trying to sell your car and I looked at that, I'd be like, I'm not buying that. You probably abuse the crap out of it.
And I do.
Right. And then there's
He's
an
not
argument to be
hiding it.
made that, you get your oil changed very regularly. You get new parts when they need to be fixed. And like literally the day a problem arises, you get it fixed because you work at a shop.
Exactly.
So your
Access,
car
though.
is
Access
actually
important.
not abused. It's just like
Taken care of.
Taken care
Yeah.
of. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're meant to be driven like that.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
If you don't drive it like that, actually,
the point,
you'll
in
run
a way?
into problems
Yeah.
if you
The longer
don't.
they sit,
I used to work at a dealership, and a lot of people, that was actually a really big issue because they wouldn't break it in. You know, you're supposed to
the
break
longer
it.
your
wouldn't
car
put the-
sits, the worse it is. And
And-
even if
The pedal
your
to the
brakes,
metal.
Like,
Yeah.
One thing with us here is that with COVID, people weren't driving their cars.
Right.
And they would bring their cars in for, like, once things started opening up again, they'd bring their cars in for service. And we'd be like, yeah, you need brakes. And they were like, well, I just did them
Yeah.
before COVID. I haven't driven
You
much
need to
I
drive
haven't
it.
driven much at all. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's why. Because your rotors are completely almost rotting away.
Basically.
Yeah. and-
Yeah, there was a lady that didn't, she didn't push like her, I think she had an M6, I think. It was like either like a top line 6 Series or an M6. I remember I was working at the dealership.
She definitely abused that car.
And no, she didn't. That was the problem. She was having issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the mechanics were like, you are not driving this car the way it's supposed to be driven.
Yeah.
You have to push the engine to a certain level or else you're going to have like
Issues, yeah.
problems, basically.
That's another thing is someone who like, you know, like lots of people think, oh, maybe perhaps lady driven, don't know the value of their car.
That's the best thing that I get. When I sell a car, you know, I just say lady driven, but they don't really know
Yeah.
the backstory of it.
But a lot of what comes with like not knowing, like say you're buying from someone who doesn't know a lot about cars is like perhaps like negligence. And like they're
That's
part of like
the-
taking care of it.
Yeah, I feel like there is a stigma there, or there's like what would the right word be? Like saying lady driven, and to some people that might just be like, oh, that car wasn't taken care of properly,
Yeah.
right? And it's unfortunate, but a lot.
I mean, in most cases, it's true.
I
You
feel
think
like
so?
I feel like it's been symbolic of even like
Honestly, yeah.
of just like maybe light highway usage, commuting.
The th-
I feel like it's been like used in that sense, so, just in general.
with the lady driven thing, it's also a hit or miss too, because
Yeah.
there's some, you know, with generally speaking, with females, like, you know, either they're taking care of the car or they're not pushing it as much typically, but obviously with guys in the car scene or whatever,
I've seen some pretty interesting things done by guys,
well,
like in the car scene. Yeah,
I bet.
and like just male car owners, what they've done to their vehicles. Like I know of a guy, unfortunately, and you know, if he's watching it, I'm very sorry, but he put DEF fluid in his diesel tank, and to fix it properly, it's like probably like $8,000 to $10,000 on his ML.
wow.
Yeah, but you know, like
And with both, whether it's female
Yeah.
driven or guy driven, if there's a problem, there's a problem.
yeah, I feel
That's
like
why
if
I'm
you-
saying it depends on
if you
who
don't
sells.
know what you're doing though, as like an owner, just take it to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, don't try and
100%.
save money because you're always going to screw yourself. Always.
I have a tip for my used car purchases. I was just thinking about it. If you ever have a car and you're selling, or if you've ever sold anything for a good deal, how fast does it sell? That day? Right away? Usually, if it's like an amazing deal, you get rid of it ASAP because someone is there to buy it from you.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
My thing is like, if you want to buy a car and like you're set, you can't just look once a day. You can't even just look like
Like
you
impulse
can't,
buys. Is that what
Huh?
you're saying? Like buy it impulsively right away, like one day looking buy a car?
like
Or take your time?
not take your time. I'd say just very consistent and even hourly.
Okay. Consistently and research, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like you have to be looking at least 2 to 3 times a day,
Oh,
or you're
yeah.
gonna miss that deal.
Yep.
You could miss a deal, yeah.
Like out of like,
Especially in today's market, like
Hell yeah.
oh my gosh,
everything is like atrociously priced.
yeah.
Like atrociously priced.
I religiously look every day.
I saw 2015 328 for sale for like $26,000 with like 150K on it.
There's E46s going for 40,000, like M3s.
Yeah, but you're just like, what is going on in this world?
Canada.
Because there's going to
COVID.
be the one person.
Inflation.
Chip shortage, inflation.
Yeah. Chip shortage, yeah.
There's going to be the one person, whether it's like the rich asshole or someone who just doesn't have enough time and just literally wants it gone or like needs the money right now, who is going to post it up and then is going to just make a deal with someone on the spot because someone is going to see that and just be like, hey, here, let's meet like today. I have the money in cash. Like, let's go. And it could be a matter of like 5 minutes, 30 minutes. And you miss the deal of a lifetime for the car that you really wanted.
Those who always, do their due diligence, do their research, do that hard work, they always end up ahead in life anyways, usually in any regard, right? Like whether it's your job, whether it's, looking for a car, anything. Like you do your work, you do your research, you work 10 times harder than the other person, you look 10 times farther than the next person, you're going to get what you want eventually.
100%. And sometimes it comes down to luck too.
You think luck?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
You might not check for like a month and then one day you'll check and you'll see, oh, there's the car
dream
that
car.
I want.
Yeah.
Depends.
The or the 850i, 850ci.
850ci.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a question, switching it up. As like the car community is like, mostly guys. As a girl, like, do you have any tips for, female enthusiasts trying to get into the car community?
Definitely.
Like, was it tricky navigating or like getting into it?
It couldn't have been easy.
Feeling accepted?
When you're a girl, obviously there's like the upsides because you're a girl.
The thirst.
Thirst is real. It's there.
Yeah, for sure.
That is honestly the downside to being a girl in the community because there are some girls who, to be honest with you, they are there just for the attention. They like it. They're not, I wouldn't say a real car enthusiast.
But you know what? So are some of the guys. For the attention.
Yeah.
From who? Other guys?
Oh, yeah. But like, there's girls out there who actually just want to see the cars, who are just there for the cars. They don't really care about all the other shit. And it gets really annoying, when it's like constantly someone trying to hit on you or whatever it is.
Right. Because as a guy, you can pull up to any car meet and just like go and look at the cars. You don't have to talk to anyone unless you make yourself known and talk to people and like, get to know everyone.
For you would just show up and then there would be like...
Yeah. Basically.
There, yeah.
And it's another thing too to like work in the industry. So it's kind of separate than just like from going
Which is
to
also difficult.
It is.
Yeah.
That's even more difficult.
I agree.
Because I feel like a lot of people feel like they can step over you.
Yeah, or like she's gonna wrap my car.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
Are you the receptionist? I'm sure you get that sort of energy from some people.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. They kind of like downplay you because you're a female.
Exactly.
When ideally, technically, girls pay more attention to detail.
For sure. Hands down, that's 100% correct.
So more like than guys typically.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
But at the end of the day, both females or males, you could be really good at what you're doing.
Or really bad.
Yeah. So that's kind of the short
end. It's just a male-dominated like culture and work environment for sure.
It definitely gets in the way of like working.
And it changes the way you probably deal with things. And
100%. I always now like always make sure of things.
Think twice and
think twice. Yeah.
What's possibly the most I think you've answered this already, maybe in another one. What's the most hurtful thing someone said about your car at any given time? Something that stung a bit, maybe.
Nothing really stings for me.
It really stuck with you. Nothing stings for
No, I don't really give a shit what people have to say. I'm very confident, and because to me, cars are not about money. And that's what it always comes down to. Like, oh, your car's cheap. Or, oh, you're on your third E46. What is it? You can't afford something more expensive or, just shit like that. It's always about money. And that's one of the biggest things that I hate about being in the car scene is that it's always so money focused.
I can attest to that too, because it's like people have told me, well, why didn't you just buy an M3?
Literally.
Like, yeah, well, because I didn't.
That's because I love what I'm driving, and it doesn't matter what the fuck you drive. And people fail to realize that, like, there's people with better, I don't know if that moved. There's people with better, like, spirits that are driving cheap cars than someone who's driving. There was literally one situation that happened where this guy with a GTR, a brand new GTR, we were in a parking lot and one of my friends wanted to park his M4 next to his car. So he parks it and then the guy with the GTR is like, why do you think it's okay for you to park here?
Ew.
Your car is like basically not expensive enough to be parking next to the GTR when it's a freaking M4.
Yeah, I disagree.
I'd rather drive them for anyways.
Right? So like there's
honestly.
always these
Euro's
people,
the
and
way to go.
that's another thing with guys is they think like
It's ego.
it's ego and like, oh, I got a nice car, it's expensive. Man, I don't really give a shit.
I get that all the time too. It's like, why would you pick that wrap? Well, because I did.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's rap or whether it's your fitment or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like recently I had a really big fitment on my last E46 because I was rushing to get to Bureaucracy. And it was like, anyways, it was poking out
You
a
had
little
some poke
too
there,
much.
yeah.
And they're like, what are you going off-roading with the E46? I'm like, yeah, I am.
Some
So
people
what?
like it though.
What if I want to go off-roading with my E46?
Oh, when the tires stick out past the fenders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it too.
I like that.
Yeah,
But the
it's
thing is, it
track.
wasn't cambered yet because I didn't. I
Okay.
was like,
I still like the look of that. That
Yeah.
Jaguar outside
Yeah.
has that a bit.
Yeah,
And I
a
think
little
it looks
poke,
cool, yeah.
I
and
like it too.
E46ers are not skinny. They're pretty thick built cars, especially like coupes
Yeah.
more than the sedans. It wasn't like a bad look, but people always have something to say about
Always.
whatever
yeah.
you do.
And I feel like they probably had more to say because you're a female to
Oh,
engage in
yeah.
conversation, right?
Definitely.
It's that to put you one level below them and step into the conversation.
Or they feel
and-
like they're trying to give you advice when it's
Yeah.
like, buddy, I already know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't need you to tell me
they
what looks good and
downplay
what
what
doesn't.
you, yeah. I
Yeah.
can see that for sure. Like
So-
I have a lot of female friends in the car community and that work in the industry. And
Yeah.
they always say that, you know, like before they are able to open their mouths or
Mm-hmm.
say anything, that there's always like remarks or, you know, there's something that's picked out that's downplayed, right? And then that engages the conversation, and I feel like it's not the right way to go about things as a
Definitely
man
not.
interacting with a woman.
And they think like all girls in the scene are hoes,
Objects, not humans, right?
basically.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
It's a big thing. It's a big
Yeah,
thing, but
very
I think that's
irritating.
just because it's such male dominated, and when there is a female with the interest, like it's just like
Well, I'd
Car
say
girls,
that
what?
Yeah.
that goes on for like any industry. If it's like
Yeah.
mostly one gender and then
Right.
like another very small like minority or population, it's always
They
like
just
that.
they get surprised when they see that a girl actually knows what she's doing.
and knows
like,
what she's
"What?"
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're talking about
It-
fitment and this and that.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, okay. Well,
I mean, a lot of guys think it's just cool,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's the good side of that. But
yeah, there's a good mix out
This
there.
brings me to my next thing. So you mentioned you've traveled a bunch of places.
yeah.
And I'm sure you've witnessed maybe some amount of the car scene in those different places. And like, how does it like compare? How does it differ? From
To
place
be
place?
honest, I didn't expect this, but I got a little bit of a taste of the car scene in California, and I actually like our car scene better.
Really?
Yeah.
And why
Wow.
is that?
It's maybe because of it's like more of like a home feeling. Not like
Comfort?
not like because it's Canada, but the actual car scene itself. I feel like we're more, I don't know, close.
What do you
if that
think?
makes
What do you think
sense.
it's the scene out there is more geared towards, or is
The
more
scene
about-
out there is just really fancy cars, really expensive cars, or it's kind of like one or the other. Like either just sometimes there's meets with like all fancy shit, and then there's other meets where it's just like
Camber boys? And,
basically, yeah.
Interesting.
But I don't know.
I get what you mean about like the familiar sort of feeling that you get from Toronto car meets. I feel like some meets more than others, some places in Toronto. Like I remember like the first car meet that I pulled up to like with my camera and I started filming, and then a bunch of people just came up to me and like, oh, like blah blah blah, I love your camera. And I made friends with some people and they're like, oh, come shoot my car.
That's
blah,
what I
blah,
mean.
blah. I don't feel like
Yeah.
I couldn't like, because I've been to LA before and I've seen like, you know, stuff on social media. It doesn't seem like it would be like that at all.
No, that's exactly what I mean. Like more familiar, as in people are nice, more so.
More welcoming.
More welcoming.
Yeah.
Like people actually engage and interact with each other. Over there, I guess what I mean is like oh, I have a nice car, I have a fancy car, you know, like everyone's got money, and
It's about the flex.
it's them flexing it basically, but the
Yeah.
actual, you know, like the community, the car scene community,
It's less connected.
it's less connected than Toronto.
It's more materialistic.
Yeah,
for sure.
There we go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's usually
Thank
not the case, eh? Toronto's usually the less connected city. The lonely
Surprisingly,
city.
though, in that,
Yeah.
like, compared to California, we're actually
A lot more grounded.
I feel like, yeah.
Mm.
Even though we have our own problems, but
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, Moody, thanks so much for coming on.
thank you for having me,
Again.
guys.
Thank you for
It was
being
a
our
pleasure.
guest.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Moody E46.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys, for the.
Stay tuned for tuning in
For-
on Tuning In.
Uh,
See you next week.
see you.